But even with that, I look at things like the IRA, which as an economist, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much about this that is so wasteful and so stupid. But I was in favor of it anyway, because it's building an industrial plant here now. And even if we build the wrong thing in the wrong place, we can always retool it. The important thing is that it's built as soon as possible, because we have a limited window that the Chinese are still with us. And we need as much of that industrial plant as possible to help us build out ours.
Now, that leads me into a big conversation I want to have with you, which is I've been observing the Gavin Newsom going to China was very interesting, because that's not his job. And for Xi to meet him, it meant that Gavin Newsom, who's a non-political, squeaky clean, out-of-the-box person, no geopolitic background, goes to China. He should be meeting a regional leader. He doesn't. He meets Xi. So he's clearly a messenger. Then he says, hey, Xi, come back to my place. Xi doesn't go to the United Nations, doesn't go to DC, goes to California, and then leaves. And then there's a bunch of things happen about Xi going to Europe, Putin going there. My general thesis is there's a lot of people worried about kinetic warfare with China over Taiwan. And I'm starting to believe the Chinese and the Americans have done a deal, which is let us build the Taiwan semi-plants, the 3 in Arizona. Germany's building one, and Japan's building one. And you give it a grace period and split the technology.
Well, let's start by saying no. The Chinese can't operate any semiconductor facility on their own that makes chips better than 90 nanometers.
But they would have Taiwan. They would have...
Right, but if they wouldn't know what to do with it, the tech transfer would be immense. It's several generations beyond what they have the workforce to support. So the only way that would work is if the United States established a military authority over Taiwan and physically forced all of the Taiwanese to share all their technology on a day-by-day basis for decades, as well as American design firms continuing to provide all the inputs, logistical supply chains, and intermediate materials that allow these fabrications to work in the first place.